unmute my microphone. Hello, everybody. There we are. We are live from the Mistake on the Lake in the armpit of North Carolina. It's yours truly.
Arm,
Huh?
armpit, armpit.
Dog, let's just keep it real. You're fucking in between the good and the bad. If you ain't on the beach and you ain't in the mountains,
There's a lot of in between, then, pal.
you know what there's not a
Big
lot
ass
of?
armpit.
You know what there's
He's
not a
over
lot
big
of in
ass
between?
armpit.
You know what there's not a lot of there in between those two?
Not a lot of titles.
Championship
Not a
teams.
lot of
Not a
titles.
lot of titles.
Overcoming.
Anyways, here we are live. Get after a little bit of the two championship series that just ended, the NBA, the NHL. Then maybe get after a little of the you know, college football. Nonetheless,
Little college ball.
as I stated, we're gonna go over the NBA and the NHL finals and what happened in both of those. But I just want a moment of silence for sports fans around the world.
How about Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles?
But this is the worst time of the year.
Hey, hey, man,
Sports
nah.
fans, we're
It is,
fucked.
bro. We have reached the dog days of summer, buddy. We have reached it.
We got baseball. Sick.
Hey,
Sweet.
there's
Nice.
some good golf.
Oh yeah, there's fucking couple good NASCAR races too, Avery. But that don't mean you're gonna fucking watch any of them.
I'm not.
See,
I'm not.
see.
I'm not a NASCAR guy though.
And when my daughter's done potty training, she wants a goldfish. So are we ready to talk about like things that are gonna happen?
You're not gonna you you're not gonna get her a goldfish,
I'll
dude.
get her a goldfish, but she better quit pissing the bed at night. That's all I know.
Hey, she'd do it. And incentivize some things.
Yeah,
Um,
goldfish.
speaking of incentivizing, pretty sure some contract incentives that got paid out. All these champions.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, Florida Panthers. Are we looking at a dynasty? Is this a dynasty in the making?
They just went to three in a row, didn't they?
They did. They won 2 out of 3 back to back. Some could argue
Isn't
they
that what
should have
we were
won that
just talking
first.
about in the NFL? I'm just saying, like, at some point we got to have some common ground between all these sports to make it somewhat comparable. And when you're at the top of the the ladder in whatever sport it is that you do, and you've gone to the championship 3 times in a row, and it's a team sport, I'm here to tell you, I think that's a dynasty, brother.
That sounds like a dynasty to me. It's actually insane. Then you got I'll call them puck heads. You got these puck heads like Biz. Biz is upset with it, man. He doesn't like that state tax thing, like, because that's supposed to be a driving thing. Hey, man.
All right, so what do you call it
Well,
when Pittsburgh
welcome,
was doing it?
welcome, welcome to America. Welcome to America. That's American sports right there, Biz.
I mean,
Jeremiah, what's up, man? Nah, man, like they gotta sign Bennett, right? Bennett's the only one they've got to re-sign, really. Everybody else, everybody else is coming back. Marchand, they gotta sign Marchand. That's why the Bruins let him go. But
I I don't know if it's a problem though. Like, y- y- I guess the problem lies with where's the problem lie? A late season trade. Like, those were two organizations that made a deal on a player and sent him somewhere. Like, that's
well,
I don't understand how.
Matthew Kachuk was legitimately injured too, so they want to talk about putting him on the injured reserve and then having his entire salary come up, where they can trade use it in the trade market. You know,
Yes.
his fucking groin apparently was taken off of the bone. Hey yo, Jeremiah is funny. Oh, surviving Dave. Hey yo,
Who the fuck is Dave?
talking about the Washington High School basketball program.
Jesus Christ.
That's a good one there. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good one. But
But nah, I think as far as hockey goes and the way the sport's growing, especially with a lot of things that people don't like to look at and talk about when it comes to that sport, as far as like the the weird blackball from ESPN for bro a long time. A long time. I mean, and this is 2 or 3 years ago. And they've just now kind of opened that door to bring in more hockey and see some different things and whatnot. But I really think the sport is growing, and I don't think this dynasty in Florida is hurting, especially because of the sport growing. So like,
hey,
where
bro,
the farther
they're shutting the greatest hockey player to ever live out right now. This is a storyline in the make.
excuse me.
Hey, I know what we said. Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player ever. Yes. Okay. Yes. But the way that everybody talks about Connor McDavid, you would think that
He's the
is
single best
literally.
player in the world right now. Yeah. Hmm.
Is he? Shit.
Jokic is the best player in the NBA in the world right now, right?
Mm, we can get into that here in a second.
But I'm not saying like
I mean, the case has to be made for SGA right now.
sure he came off a great season. I'm
And
not
that's why,
knocking
you know
that,
what
but
I
I
mean?
think that
Like,
I think that he had a little bit more of a championship team built around him. The best player
for
in the
sure.
world doesn't have to win the championship. It's a team game.
At some point, he does.
No, correct. At some point, it has to come. I
At some
I, I
point,
agree with you. I'm
hey,
not. You got to the best
Buddy's
player in the
been around.
world. The best player
He's
in the
been
world
around.
raises the talent of everybody around him. Period.
He's been around 10 years, bro. About that time, ain't it?
No, brother, I hear you. And the only discrepancy I have in what you're saying right now goes back to the NHL and the NHL expansion drafts and how these old organizations get absolutely fucked. And it ruins the ability for a team like Edmonton to soundly build around Connor McDavid. So that's the problem, I think. And it hurts because the sport is growing, but that's the growing pain you have to deal with. The structure of that, for people that might not be privy to it, is basically everybody gets like a grade, and you have to give up so much grades worth of players into a draft, and then everybody goes and picks off of those. The whole league picks during that draft, including the new team, so they can have a good base. So truthfully, I don't think that the way I think Edmonton got the short straw a little bit in this because we just had an expansion draft. They just had to give up. In that,
Who'd they give up?
I could.
Might even being funny. Like we.
I'll
we
look it
really,
up. I'll look it up. But what I'm getting at though ultimately is when you give up these in hockey, if your fourth line is comprised
Oh,
of other
bro,
teams'
bro.
second and third lines.
Oh, for sure, you're gonna win. Look at the fucking Panthers, bro. Look at the
That's
Panthers.
what I'm saying.
Marchand's playing on their third line, bro. Marchand
Exactly.
was a fucking first liner with the Bruins.
Exactly. So when your
He's inside
second and
Pasternak.
third line is also is everybody else's fourth line, or excuse me, when everybody else's when everybody
Yeah,
else's
you said
fourth
it right. You
line,
said it right.
yeah. So
It's your second and third. Yeah.
it's yeah, you're gonna run the table. Why did the Vegas Knights take off the way they did at the beginning of their why?
I mean, yeah, they got Eichel.
They got Marc-Andre Fleury in the middle of a
They got
fucking championship, back-to-back championship run, dog. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, And that's what I'm getting at. Like, I'm not even trying to make that case right now. I won't even say anything on that. But it all goes back to the structure of that expansion draft and how it all works. And I just don't think it's the same as everybody wants it to be, and the way they talk about it with McDavid. You know, Crosby didn't endure that until they were actually making the league smaller when at the beginning of Crosby's career. So there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
There's another expansion draft coming up in 2 years. From
exactly that's what
Atlanta.
I'm saying.
Atlanta's gonna be in there.
Yes. So
So
I just think that right now in the sport of hockey, if those expansion drafts slow down in the 10 years after, so that means Connor McDavid was in two of them, you know? The development underneath him as far as talent goes was under two of these expansion drafts. So the midpoint of his team got zoinked from him twice in 20 or twice in what 12 years that would be. I mean, that's difficult to
we
deal
also
with.
you just gotta call it what it is too. They overpaid Darnell Nurse.
Yep.
Darnell Nurse is making, 8 million a year. He's making Kachuk, McKinnon money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
And he ain't doing Kachuk McKinnon
he
things.
ain't doing shit.
No.
Evander Kane, another overpriced individual that's probably gone. I did see where Stuart Skinner already requested a trade. He did not like being benched in the Stanley Cup final. So pretty sure McDavid's up for contract extension talks this year. He will be entering his last year of his deal this year, if I'm not mistaken. And they want him to renew, and he said, "Well, we're gonna have to think about that."
Who?
David.
Oh yeah.
So
If something doesn't figure itself out, he'll probably request a trade. He'll go somewhere big.
oh, bro, he won't have to request a trade.
I
He'll be a free agent in
I'm a fucking Penguins fan, dude, and it would not hurt me a bit to see Crosby go and go win another cup, dude. It wouldn't hurt me a bit. And I'm probably alone on that. I'm probably of the minority that would say something like that.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of Penguins fans that like Sidney Crosby that much.
Like,
I'll be honest. I don't think I could be that much of a fan of a player. You know, when I'm a fan of a player, I'm a fan of a player that makes sense.
yeah.
So I could easily follow that player around. You know what I mean? You're tied to the Penguin.
But that's the best Penguin of my life.
You're gonna be over there with a little 80, 80, 89,
87.
87 little pennant right beside, like, yeah, let's go Crosby, whatever color it is. It could be a fucking Bruins color.
He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna
I
go
know.
play for the
I know.
failures in Philly. He ain't gonna go to Washington. He wouldn't do that. He would do. He wouldn't do that. He would go to Edmonton.
Could you imagine that? Just imagine that. Just imagine a Tom Wilson, Sidney Crosby, and Ovechkin line.
Listen,
Oof.
he would go do it with
Raymond.
McDavid because of the Canada thing. Playing for a team out of Canada.
So you think? All right. If he had to go pick a player to play with, is he picking McKinnon or McDavid?
McDavid.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm taking McKinnon over McDavid.
I think he would pick McDavid for the sole fact of
He don't have one.
the connect. No, the connection. Like those two are tight, bro. 87,
Well, they're from the
97.
same place.
That's
They're
what I'm
from the
saying.
same
Right.
place.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I say that. I guess I'm not just. I guess I have somewhat of a reason behind the McDavid thing. And I think that if he went with McKinnon, respectfully, I think he would feel more of a need to lead and be involved in some of that other shit. And if it was McDavid,
so.
if it's McDavid, I think there's enough of the respect that it goes back and forth because of the hours on the ice together they have playing internationally. You know what I mean? Like they've already done this.
Yeah, I mean that's why I asked. That's why I asked about McKinnon because they're on the same line together when they play with Team Canada. don't know. It Crosby Crosby
I think
reminds me more of
Edmonton,
McKinnon,
but the
anyways.
thing is Edmonton with the ties to Wayne and him, like, bro, I just don't see Crosby doing anything other than that. Like, as far as going to chase a cup down, that's all.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, a Crosby trade would be
Uh,
fucking blockbuster, and that would be insane. It would be a trade deadline thing if it was anything. But I just think that,
Shout out to the Florida Panthers,
and
man.
I wouldn't be
They
hurt. It
they
would
beat
be,
my team's ass.
bro. It would be very similar to the Marchand trade this past year with Florida. Like, I see some similarities, a lot of similarities in that. No,
That would be interesting.
is there not
I would
similarities to that?
I would I would actually be intrigued to see that series run back. Give me Hyman. People forget Zach Hyman broke his hand.
Yes,
He was out for the Stanley Cup. That obviously was a problem. Hyman was probably the Oilers' most, I guess
he
you would
was
say,
one of the first or
aggressive.
second
He was the
in
most.
power
He was
plays.
the most. He was the most aggressive player they had. I'm pretty sure he was high on the team in hits too, and that was clearly something that was missing from the Oilers was a little bit of edge.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, man.
You you watched.
I
They were, listen. The Edmonton Oilers were the shovel, and the Florida Panthers were the guy that's working for the state on the road, holding the shovel with his foot on it the whole fucking time.
yeah, it was. It
They
was
just
rough.
leaned on him, dude. They
Rough.
leaned on him. They pushed him around. They dominated him.
It's a Paul Maurice thing.
And
It's a Paul Maurice thing.
bro,
That like
exactly,
it's
exactly.
a Paul Maurice thing.
There's an aspect of
You hear that?
hockey. There's an
You hear
aspect of
that guy
hockey
talk?
though, bro. There's an aspect of hockey that people fail to realize, and it's not, bro. You can have the most skilled in the world, like I just said. Connor McDavid is the most skilled in the world, and if you have two lines that will just guaranteed lean on whoever's out there, they don't have to fucking skate with them. They don't have to puck handle with them. They just have to lean on them. Every time they're on the ice, you'll win. And that's what happened. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know, but we might be. I don't know hockey
Man,
that
bro,
well, but that's what I see.
I can tell you one thing: the Florida Panthers are here to stay. They're gonna find a way to re-sign Bennett. He'll probably get 8 or 9 million. You know, yeah. And if they don't, oh well. If Bennett walks, I think they'll still be okay. You know, they got Seth Jones. They still have Seth Jones for 3 more years, Riley, and the Blackhawks are paying half of his contract.
Yeah, it's gross.
Like, dude, that's another trade deadline pickup.
All right, enough about hockey.
Shout out to the Florida Panthers. Congratulations. The Stanley Cup.
It's a
tour.
dynasty.
Barkov going to his neighbor talking about, you see what I got? Funny, bro. The
Hey,
Stanley
yo.
Cup stories. The Stanley Cup stories are amazing. I'll just say
My
that.
buddy, we went down to Lauderdale for my buddy's bachelor party, and that bar, I'm unfamiliar with Fort Lauderdale. I was new. That bar that they were all at, the elbow room spot,
Yeah.
I stood on the same balcony. But it
It's
was just me. There's nothing cool going on.
Stanley. I didn't win the Stanley. I didn't win Lord Stanley's Cup.
No, actually, I'll be honest with you. It's not my style anymore. And we were in there, and I looked at my buddy, and I was like, "Is there anywhere else? This is ass. Just not my style these days, you know." Hey, but nah. Let's go
Oklahoma
NB
City Thunder.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Is
This
that,
might
hold on.
this
Is
one of
SGA
the best-
is SGA the best OKC Thunder player of all time? Not Seattle Supersonics. No. Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder. Down under.
I can give that to him.
KD.
Yeah. Like if I'm taking KD's career versus SGA's in a Thunder uniform, yeah.
I don't knock it. Because of the ship.
That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it.
Because of the ship. Like,
That's really it, bro.
I respect it because you're a Jordan guy. Why are you a Jordan guy? The ships, okay?
He won,
So it's
bro. He
consistent.
won.
I'll buy it, bro. I'll buy it. Bet.
That's it. That's it, bro.
I don't have a
Um,
take. I'm not enough of a basketball guy to give the
I
take
think
here.
I think stats wise, he'll end up catching them in like points, and a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, I if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't play 2 games with a strained calf and absolutely destroy his Achilles,
Bro, what was
um,
worse, that or Drake Greenlaw? In my opinion, because I'm a football guy, not no no no, excuse me. In my opinion, not just because I'm a football guy, like Halliburton was in play.
they
This dude,
literally,
this
they
dude,
literally, they it both deflated both teams to the point where they lost championships.
yes,
God, that's a hard
yeah,
you
but they're
you.
also those two
Mm,
players in those games are huge. Sure, deflated them and they lost. I guess who's the
nah,
better off the ball linebacker that was still playing football when Dre
Hall-
Greenlaw. Actually, who was the best off the ball linebacker the season when the season started? When Dre Greenlaw
Hall-
blew his Achilles.
Halliburton's running this postseason, Riley. If he had won that game 7, which when he got hurt, he was 3 for 3 from three with 9 of the 14 points that the Pacers had, and he had literally 2 possessions before looked at SGA on his court and said, "I'm coming." I'll say this, man. Give me Halliburton with a bigger impact on the game because the only person who was fighting after that was TJ McConnell. Hey man. TJ McConnell. Did everything you could, brother. He did everything he could, Riley.
Oh no, for sure.
Um I like SGA, the Thunder. They're trying to find they have 4 first round picks next year in the NBA draft.
You think they shopped them?
They're trying to get up into the top 10 for this year's draft already, so they probably are.
I'm saying,
Because that's what that team needs. They
yeah, no.
don't need a superstar. They can just bring in another high ceiling rookie that they don't have to play. You know what I mean? And he can, hey, learn the system. Let's buy in. Then when you have to, if you don't want to pay Jalen Williams, because you got to remember you're a small market team, so your owner's not really handing out the paycheck book. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to pick between Jalen Williams, Chet,
Bro, that's
and SBA.
when though.
3 years.
Bro, you say like, bro, if they put another run together, another they win another one. I don't think. I think that changes, personally.
I agreed. That's why I think they
I
can
think they
just
pay
sit back
somebody. I
and
think
just
they
keep.
do some shit. Is what
Well, even
I guess.
no, you can only pick two. You can't pay all three. That's what I'm saying. You can't
Okay,
you
okay.
can't pay all three. You got to pick between the two. You already picked SGA,
But if it
so
was New
Jalen
York
Williams
or
is
if it
set.
was New York or L.A., they could pay all three. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, chances are they'll sit in luxury tax. Like there's a cap. So if you go over the salary
You
cap,
have to like
then you pay
match
a
it.
tax.
It's like
Yeah,
$1 to $1 or some crazy
yeah.
shit.
You pay a fine to the NBA. Like, yeah, we're over the cap. Here it is. Yeah, so that's why the Celtics got rid of like $90 million worth of contracts in the last 2 days.
Hold
Shout
on,
out to Corey Grady.
hold on. So what the fuck is the point of the salary cap then?
It comes straight from the owners. The owners get
Okay.
taxed, called a luxury tax.
No, I understand, but like I'm just trying to.
Yeah, it's a soft cap. It's the difference between the NBA and the NFL.
Like,
NFL's a hard cap. You
that's.
cannot go over that.
I know. I just. Why even cap it at that point? Like, you
Gotta
know.
make money at some point. You know what I mean? That's why baseball is baseball, brother. That's why you have the A's in baseball and the Dodgers.
You
That's
mean
the
the
opposite in.
Pirates and the Dodgers?
I mean, the A's don't have a home stadium, Riley. Like
Dog.
they literally are just athletics this year. They don't have a city in front of it.
Where do they run the home games at? Whoever's got an open field. They
I
call in
couldn't
fucking
tell you.
Steinbrenner High School out of Tampa. Hey guys,
Tampa Bay's stadium got messed up. The dome got messed up in the hurricane last year, and their owner said, "We're not paying for it. We're not paying to get it renovated."
yeah, y'all want to fix it so
They're
bad, fix that
yeah.
motherfucker.
So they're playing at the Yankees spring training ground. They're playing at Steinbrenner Field.
Holy moly!
Oh yeah, but
But nah, shout out
no, I
to
mean
SGA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Cerveza
they can
Ian
make the run.
Pacers in 6 was a hard was a hard pull at the beginning of this. Not quite. Maybe next time.
Shit, I was Thunder in 5. I thought the Thunder was just gonna get them out of there, and they did. So
Yeah, no, it
you
was a
know,
good. Anytime it's a game 7, man. The
two best
league,
words in sports. Two best words in
the
sports.
leagues have done what they were supposed to do. I don't
The
care if
two
it's the
best words
same
in
teams. I don't care. The leagues did what they should do. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, without further ado, I guess it's time to get into a little college ball. What-
I
Let's
cannot
start with a
wait.
let's start with a conference. Let's start with a couple conferences. You know,
Start out with some conferences, man.
let's go Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Who's winning the Big Ten this year? This is easy for me.
Go ahead then.
Penn State. Bro, go look at. No, listen, and the biggest reason I say that is go look at the transfer portal and the low amount and a high prospect at quarterback. The in the lack of the transfer portal kids. I don't think it's even close. Who do you got?
Shout out to Josh Brittle. Go. Oh, Oregon. We got Oregon winning the Big Ten next year. Um, Penn State doesn't beat Ohio State again. James Franklin's job will be gone after this season. Um, I'm not sold on Penn State just because I haven't seen it. Like I've got to see it. I got to see it.
Last year was they were fucking handed some shit, bro. Don't get it fucked up. They were handed gift wrapped, handed a trip to the Big Ten championship. No,
Brother, you just picked you on
yeah,
this podcast just picked Penn State, the same Penn State that had 4 opportunities at the 2 yard line. Four, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chances to beat Ohio State in the goal line.
Yeah.
And what did they run on 3 of them?
All right, listen.
They tried to run the Trent Williams pull in the running tackle thing 3 times. What happened on the last time, Riley? Do you remember?
I don't.
Buddy ran straight to the sideline and didn't touch a soul. That's what James Franklin's teaching
Breeding.
up there.
That's what he's breeding up there.
That's what
Dude,
he's
I just
teaching
think that
up
team
there.
is loaded right now, and
They
they were
are.
and last year they weren't the overall of the team, if you will, wasn't where it is right now, and they had some of those experiences of losing those games, and I think that's what puts them on top. That's just my take here, man.
They lost. They lost their 2 best edge players, did they not? They lost their best cornerback, I'm pretty sure, too. I understand that they do a plug and play up there. They got to learn a new system. They did get that turncoat from Ohio State, Jim Knowles, as their new DC. That's going to be interesting. I will say this, though. The reason I got Ohio State, I will take Ohio State in probably 90% of their games next year, just strictly off of the fact they're going to walk out there in 90% of their games with the best player on offense, Jeremiah Smith, and the best player on defense, Caleb Downs. And they both control the ball in the air. They can dictate the pace of play because they can both play the ball in the air. Jeremiah Smith's going to score touchdowns and catch passes and get all these yards. Caleb Downs is going to make you run the ball. Nick Saban at 18 years old said Caleb Downs is the best DB I've ever coached. I'm sold.
All right.
So I'm sorry, but I haven't even talked about Oregon, man. Oregon did take a big blow losing Evan Stewart. I'm just gonna take them because I know what they're gonna have on defense. Dan Lanning, he's
Hold on.
what's the word
One
I'm
time
looking
for
for,
you.
man?
One time for you. Let me run through this. At X, Kyron Hudson, redshirt senior. At Z, Devontae Ross, senior transfer. I know it doesn't just matter what class they're in, but I'm not finished. At slot, Trevor Pena, redshirt senior. Left tackle, senior. Left guard, junior. Center, senior. Right guard, Cooper Cousins, shout out to your EPA, sophomore. Right tackle, redshirt senior. Khalil Dinkins, tight end. Drew Aller, quarterback. Nicholas Singleton, senior, running back. Backing him up is Katron Allen, senior running back. I just think this team is loaded, and it's their year. This is their year. This is their year.
Great.
If they're gonna do it, well, excuse me. If they don't do it, regardless of who they win and who they lose, if they can get into the playoffs and string it together at the end like Ohio State did for Ryan Day to keep his job, that's what has to happen for James Franklin to realistically keep his job, in my opinion. I don't care what happens in the regular season. I don't care what happens in the Big Ten championship game. I want to know what happens at the end of the college football playoff and where the chips fall. Personally,
You asked me who's winning the Big Ten.
No, I know.
I said the Oregon Ducks.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm just speaking on the whole James Franklin job thing, I guess.
Yeah, nah.
You know, if he fucks up the bag, in the regular season or loses the Big Ten championship, but can still squeak into the playoffs like he just did, and string a national championship run together, it all doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, nah, that's fair. That's fair.
And it's their year to do it, and that's the reason I say all of that is because it's their year to do it.
I feel you. I'm not sold on them, man. I got to see them actually win. That's why I say. Who you got in the ACC, brother?
Who do I have in the Clemson? No.
Just walk away.
I mean,
walk away?
Again, I think it's kind of similar to what I was just talking about with Penn State. Like, I think they're in the rotation. You know, they're one of the powerhouses, and it's their turn. The dial's turned, and it's Clemson's turn to rise to the top. I mean, who's competing with them like that? Just curious.
You know, SMU won that bitch last year, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot they were ACC. They were
You
like
know they returned.
undefeated
They,
as
re-
fuck.
they returned.
I didn't think they
Pretty
were
sure eight or
ACC.
nine, 8 or 9 starters off the offense. You know the quarterback's coming back.
I honestly didn't.
Xavier Jennings.
I forgot about SMU being an ACC team.
Oh yeah, brother.
But
Yeah.
no, it'll be a good matchup though. That they're fine. ACC championship game. SMU Clemson. Can they do that? Yeah, they should be able
My
to do that.
my dark horse. My dark horse. Not the SMU Mustangs. I don't think SMU's sneaking up on anybody this year. The team I think is going to sneak up on people is Duke. Um, Duke went 5-3 last year in the ACC, 9-4 overall. They brought in a new quarterback, Darian Mensah. He's a transfer from um, Tulane, dual threat guy. They gave him $8 million over 3 years, over the last 3 years to go in. Um, yeah, man, I like Duke a lot too. Not saying they're going to win, but you know they could sneak out of there. I got Clemson.
Amen.
I got
Amen.
Clemson. I'm not gonna.
You're gonna
I like.
hate. You're gonna hate that I'm gonna bring this up right now. But I don't know if I would be hurt by seeing some Belichick success at the University of North Carolina football. As long as they lose to ECU whenever they play them, I like.
They gotta put us on the schedule. They don't like to do that.
But do you see what I'm saying
And
though?
when you get 110 rolled up on
Put
you
your-
in 2 games in a row, you don't want to play anymore.
Put
Riley.
yeah, but put yourself in the a coach's. You're a fan of the coach, okay? You're a fan of the coach, and to see very rarely do you see success transfer from the college ranks up, and you don't see the uber success transferred down. I just think it would be really interesting, and again, good for the sport, good for some of the guys like us, something to watch and something to see and be like, oh wow, it's just neat to watch something develop like that, because I mean, historically, North Carolina gets a quarterback here or there that they recruit the piss out of, and they're just they're 500, maybe a game or two above, nothing. They just really don't string it together, and I think Belichick has some real potential, obviously, for natural reasons, but I just think it could be interesting on how all that goes.
Fuck State.
Yeah, no. Anyways, SEC. Georgia. Bro, it's so hard for me to say no to that. Like, Texas? I don't know. What are you thinking?
The thing that scares me about the Georgia Bulldogs, Riley Dunbar. Can you guess what it is?
Quarterbacks situation?
Nah, I think Gunnar Stockton's a way better quarterback than Carson Beck. I thought that last year.
No, I just wasn't sure. I can't guess.
Nah, that's a good one, bro. It's the people he's throwing the ball to. Like, that's really what it is. They led the country. They were very high in the country, I should say, in drops last year. Yeah, that's just the thing.
Wait, hold on. Noah Thomas, Zachariah from A&M,
Zachariah Branch from USC.
transferred
Yeah.
in.
I'm just not sold, buddy.
It's the defense. The more that I'm looking about this Georgia thing, it's the defense, bro. How many left?
I mean, I hear you. I hear you.
They got three. Count them up. One, two, three. Coming back. That's that. To me, I think that's the biggest question mark.
Well, you took Georgia.
No. I was just literally thinking SEC, and the song came to my mind.
Oh, okay.
Truthfully,
Gotcha.
truthfully, the where I'm gonna go with this is pretty similar with where I went with the first one. I'm going Texas, bro. I think their quarterback situation is out of control. And that's been wide receiver U for 2 years in a row now. In the draft. I'm not saying it hasn't completely fully matured into, guaranteed guaranteed production in the NFL, but I
I'm
mean,
gonna talk about actual wide receiver. One that you could throw in there. Their quarterback situation is not as good as Texas is.
wait, can I
But
guess?
go ahead.
LSU?
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
Where are you going with
Nope.
this?
Nope. Um.
Oh. Never mind. I'm just fucking with you now. Oh.
I mean, hey,
Oh,
it,
fucking.
they got. He's the second best sophomore in college football out there playing receiver. And they're
Bama?
going to start a true freshman from Duncanville, Texas, at quarterback this year, Keelan
Bama?
Russell. We're gonna go with Alabama, University of Alabama. You want to talk about a defense that returned a lot of guys? That's one. Their offensive line up front is good, and it always has been. Um, yeah, man, I've got to go with Alabama here. Um, a lot of guys returning outside too, not just Ryan Williams, but Jalen Mbakwe. There's a couple more receivers that they have. Isaiah Horton is another guy that's coming back. Rico
Ryan
Scott.
Grubb is making his Kalen DeBoer uh, homecoming.
Yeah, man, I think Kalen DeBoer is a great coach. Um,
He had some big shoes to fill, and that's
he did,
unfortunate.
bro. He
It
did.
was unfortunate in my opinion.
Any coach, any coach in America goes into Alabama, they don't win 9 games like he did last year. Um, Now you could see Ty Simpson start next year, um, early. Ty Simpson's another guy he's a solid quarterback. But I mean, you want to feel old? Dre Kirkpatrick Jr.'s on the team. Yeah, remember when his dad won the first national title in '08 with Saban? Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too,
You're not allowed to say
buddy.
that.
Ah, man. I like this Alabama team on paper, man. Um, I think it could be a solid team this year. It's probably going to be a little bit of a
I
reach.
think I think, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but since Texas came to the SEC, they've really started to put some teams back together. Like there was, Texas when we were younger, like before the Saban days at Alabama, like, and this is very early football for me. Shout out to the CTE. You start to fade, but I just remember like, you know, early college games that I was playing, NCAA games and shit like that, like, and just remember the buzz around the Texas football, and then something happened. Did they get in trouble? Did they have some recruiting shit?
No, Nick Saban utterly ripped their heart out. Colt McCoy separated his throwing shoulder in that football game when Marcel Darius hit him, and it ripped the last little bit of hope that Mac Brown had as a Texas coach was just ripped away at that point. And then they went through a bunch of coaching mistakes. You had Charlie Strong for 2 years, former DC of Florida. He was there with Urban Meyer. Then you had Tom Herman. former OC at Houston. Um, Major Applewhite, another another coach,
But no,
former Texas
I mean,
quarterback who was
nonetheless,
there.
do you
I
agree
mean,
though? They've started to string something together here, bringing Texas football back.
it's Sark, man. It's Sark. It's Sark.
No, I know, but bro,
It's Sark.
with
It's
think
the
about
coach.
think about the
The
Johnny
coach, bro.
Manziel days, bro.
It's the
Texas,
coach.
who?
It's
The
the coach.
Longhorns, who?
It's the coach.
There's one team out of
Coach.
Texas. It was A&M.
It's the coach, bro. Like it's the coach. That's just what it is.
No, for sure,
Sark
no doubt.
Sark Sark was there with USC back when they were the Hollywood USC. Then he did his own thing in the league. You know, OC at with the Falcons.
Then he made the best decision of
Went
his life.
went to Bama. Went to head coach university. Went to how to coach university. How to coach 101. And I mean, shit. You might as well say Nick Saban. You might as well call it the Saban Eastern Conference at this point, man. This you got you
I
got
think it's great. I think,
Smart. You got
dude, you know what I think is great though? Every time they talk about this college football commissioner like role and
It's got to
position,
be it. He's
they're
got to be
always
it.
they're always like, "Yeah, Saban, so when are you going to take the job?" And he's like, "Huh? What job?
I don't want to take no job.
I'm not doing it." I'm like, "Dude, come
I don't do anything but work in the media. And I don't even like doing that because I feel like I'm giving rat poison to all the coaches and teams. But no, man, I like Alabama to come out of the SEC this year. South Carolina's another team that could make a run.
They have a
South
good
Carolina,
quarterback right now.
they've got a good defense. People sleeping on that defense, man. Um, Big 12. We got coming out of Big 12 because of
Bro, I'm actually looking right now and thinking and looking and thinking, and I feel like I got to go BYU, or not BYU, excuse me. K-State, and that's off of like not the ceiling of the team. That's off of maybe if teams underperformed. I like the bottom end of K State better than I like the bottom end of Colorado, but I like the top end of Colorado better than I like the top end of a lot of teams. Just because of what has happened, I just want to see how this goes, dude. They got some good talent. They have some talent coming back. Obviously, it's not fucking Travis and Shador, but they, you know, I think this quarterback's better than Shador, but they don't have Travis Hunter. No, we'll never see that again. So that's a hard role to fill.
well, buddy. Um, that first team you said, that's the team.
Kansas State,
No, BYU.
BYU. Okay,
BYU is the team that's coming out of the Big 12 this year. Um,
that's fair.
they are big. They are physical.
Did their quarterback stay?
Retzlaff is still there. Yup, Jake Retzlaff.
That's huge.
The Jewish first Jewish quarterback in BYU history, I believe.
Yeah, how's that work?
Yeah, crazy stuff. Tell me about it. Yeah, man, they are. They've got a name that's a freshman this year. Tay Nakua. Throw that one
Puka
out there.
Nakua's little brother, huh?
More than likely. More than likely. This is a Utah team, though, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me tell you, lot of Utes, lot of Utahs out here. They make them big out there too, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at their O line, they don't have a O lineman under 6'3". They got one that's 6'9", 315. That is mass.
Tell your boy to
That's just-
bet. You better tell your boy to bend at the waist so the Q can see over the line.
That is mass. Jesus. Nah, man. I like what BYU did last year too. They were an explosive offense. made plays down the field. Um, yeah, yeah, I like BYU a lot. Colorado, don't see them making a run this year. Um, Caden Salter, great quarterback. I cannot wait, and I would tell you this right now, Riley Dunbar. Now, last year we had two freshman wide receivers that took over the country. Yeah, Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith.
Uh huh.
The one that's going to do it this year is over there in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Remember our boy from what was it? North Crowley High School in Texas, Quentin Gibson,
Mm-hmm.
the Texas 6A Player of the Year, 5'8", 165.
Where'd he go? Duncanville.
No, North Crowley High
Oh
School.
yeah, you said that. You said
He
that.
was the one that was smoking Duncanville and them boys though, just running past them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he's playing slot this year for Deion Sanders. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this kid is going to go crazy. I want to be the first one up there now. First one on the train this year. Quentin Gibson, Colorado. He would be amazing this year. But who you got coming out of the group of five, man?
That gets tough. I get. I'm just trying to think. I this gets hard for me in particular because bro, all it takes is one of these teams in fucking one of the wild conferences to just make a crazy run against some bad teams, and now they're undefeated.
Yeah.
And
I don't
to
think
boot,
we'll
they
have
don't have to play a
anybody
conference championship game or something, so it's just like, oh. And then they go to the playoffs and get cooked. Like this is hard for me. I don't know. Truly, I think this is the biggest open door. Like we saw a few teams get hot last year. I think it hurt that did Army or Navy go? Which one of those teams was like stupid hot?
Army.
Yeah.
Army went 12-2 last year. Navy went 10-3. Like they were.
Bro, they
coming
had
down
an opportunity that they could have played
Yeah,
each
coming
other like
down-
2 times or 3 times, which has never happened.
Yeah. They could have played each other in the American Championship game, and after the week after the Army Navy game, they would play in the American Championship, and then probably played again in the playoff.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. But Navy ended up losing to Notre Dame, and then 2 other games in conference they shouldn't have lost. Pretty sure one of them was.
I mean, maybe Notre Dame. Does that count? I feel like they're an auto bid now.
No, bro, they are.
I feel
That's
like
the thing, bro.
yes,
That's
yes,
the
but
thing with
bro,
Turkey, like
look what
they
it-
are the auto bid.
Bro.
It's the auto bid.
Who's that coach that left there to go to LSU? What the
Brian
fuck's it?
Kelly.
Boy, did he shoot himself in the foot.
No, he hated Notre Dame.
That's fine.
He hated Notre Dame.
Shot
Brian
himself
Kelly
in the
hates
foot.
Notre Dame more than I hate Notre Dame, and that's a lot of hate. Let me tell you. I hate Notre Dame.
No,
It's same place that had Catholics versus convicts. Think about that. Come on, man. How racist you gotta be? You just put it on a T-shirt and sold it to the whole stadium.
no doubt.
But no, I mean, I Notre Dame counts. Notre Dame counts in this.
Then that's my
situation.
pick.
I think if you had to take Notre Dame versus the field in like a group of 5, like who's gonna get the 4th, like number 1 seed, the 4th bye.
Yeah.
I would take Notre Dame versus the field. There's a couple of good teams in the American this year. I don't expect Army to be that good. They did lose their leading rusher and their leading sack.
What's up
sack
with Houston?
Houston is in the Big 12.
Oh,
Yeah,
things
Houston's in the
just
Big
change
12.
these days, you know.
Yeah, they've been there for a couple years.
Bullshit.
Um, UTSA is a team that a lot of people's been talking about. Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. A lot of people like them. A lot of people like Tulane also. I'm not high on
I've heard
Tulane.
some Tulane things.
I'm not high on Tulane. Memphis is another team. Everybody seems to want to hop on this year also. The American. I'm not expecting much from my Pirates. I just want us to win 8. Give me 8. 8 is great. I really
Fair.
like to go 1-0. I can go 1-11 as long as that 1 is the first week of the year. I'll be completely fucking honest here.
All right. I know you weren't prepared for this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
So
Who's your Heisman front runner today?
today,
Mm-hmm.
Cade Klubnik from Clemson. He got the second best odds. Him and Nussmeier from LSU are both plus 1,000. Um, Arch Manning is the overall favorite right now.
How do you feel about Lenora Sellers?
Lenora Sellers is he's the wild card of this year.
This is what I'm saying, and I don't know much about South Carolina, so if I sound ignorant, that's
It's a
completely
good team.
possible.
Shane Beamer, Frank Beamer's son from Virginia Tech is their head coach.
What I'm saying though is if that team, and I haven't looked at their schedule, but if that team can pull together one, they're gonna have to play what, 3 top 10 teams, give or
Minimum.
take. If they
Minimum. I
if
mean,
if
you're
if
gonna
he
have
can
Bama,
have if he can be
Ole Miss.
consistent, if that kid could be consistent and they win one of those 3 games because he puts a team on his back, it's something to talk about.
So you're gonna be at LSU, Alabama at home, at Ole Miss, and Clemson at home. Those are gonna be 4 top 10 teams. Um,
Clemson, I think, not
that
Clemson.
Clemson game's gonna be a war.
Yes.
That Clemson game's gonna be a war.
If they if Lenora Sellers could pull that one in particular together and
That's
have a
probably gonna be
great
for the
game
Heisman.
because and he has a great game and they win, I think he's the Heisman winner. That's my way
I
too
mean,
early pick. It's a dark horse pick. I know it's maybe not the popular one, but that's where I'm at.
he going into that game. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Going into that game, that could be for the Heisman though. Like that's Cade Klubnik versus Lenore Sellers. That would be the selling point all week. Um, I you know I would expect College Game Day to be there if both teams are in the top 25. Top 15 for sure. Definitely don't see them going to the Iron Bowl for Auburn, Alabama, because I don't see Auburn being good.
I think they
The
got.
only
I think
thing
they're a couple years
they
out too.
could go, yeah,
A
they could
year or
go to
two.
the big house. They could go to the big house if Michigan's a top 15 team, which they could be. Um, I like Michigan a lot. I don't know, man. I got Cade Klubnik though.
I like
Um,
it. That's a safe pick in my opinion. Klubnik, Manning,
he's the
they're
third year in the system, the Garrett Riley system too. I think it's time. That's really what it is. That's really more so what it is. It's time. Like, let's go.
no for sure. I'm with it.
Um, yeah, man.
Well, I'm good. You good? Anything for the greater of the people?
Nah, man. Nah. Hope you're ready to get married.
Couple weeks. We may or
Yeah.
may probably not before. We probably won't run before. So I appreciate that.
There you go. There you go.
Um,
There you go.
I'm gonna end with this.
We might have some stuff like live streamed or put together on like Instagram and stuff like during the wedding activity.
Festivities. There's
Yeah,
gonna be some
we
things.
might be live.
Um,
Stuff might happen.
Avery, I can lie to my friends, and you can lie to your friends, but don't lie to me. Well, that was failed. Peace.